أول ما فكرت في مدينة غرناطة أو غرناطة رجعت في الزمن وكتب التاريخ وأيام الأندلس. لكن لما وصلت غرناطة لقيتها مدينة تنبض بالحيوية، تاخد من التاريخ وتتطلع للمستقبل. وموسيقتنا العربية ما زالت حاضرة وتجذب الأسبان والأجانب.
Hello, I'm Fawzia Beinedetti, and I want to welcome you to the city of Granada. It was in this beautiful city, home to the Alhambra Palace and a place where different cultures lived together for centuries, that I first encountered my passion for Andalusian, Arab and flamenco music, which I've been able to develop thanks to meeting some wonderful musicians and the support of my family.
It's great to meet you in Granada, and it's such a beautiful city. You can feel its history everywhere.
You're absolutely right, Joanne. Granada is an amazing city, and I think it's a privilege to be able to live here and enjoy this special part of Spain and Europe.
You're American, you were born in Switzerland, and you live in Granada, Spain, and you're interested in Mediterranean music. I'm sure it felt for you that it was the right place to live.
I was here and the music came to me because I came to Granada like 26 years ago, and I had never heard any kind of Arab or Andalusian music, which is my main interest. When I first got in contact with Andalusian music, I was overwhelmed by its beauty and the singing, and also Arab music. About 4 years ago, I got in contact by chance with a group of musicians who are Moroccan, and I started collaborating with them. I took out my flute, which had been put away for almost 20 years, and I started to learn this music. I went on to other styles of music, like a bit of flamenco, just as part of what I felt was my musical development, and also because they all have things in common. Of course, I love the most Arab and Andalusian music because I love Arabic, I love the songs I love to hear, so that's my passion.
After you studied piano, you switched to flute. Why?
You can express a lot with the flute. You can be very soft, you can be very sweet, you can be strong, you can be... So, you know, it has a lot of dynamics, and flamenco is like that as well.
That's very interesting. I would love to hear your music. Yeah, I know there are so many musicians that have composed music for Granada. For example, like Albanese and Agustin Lara and Manuel de Falla also.
This is the house that Manuel de Falla, who was originally from Cadiz, he lived here for several years, and he did a lot of his composing here. And he stayed here until 1939 when he decided to go to Argentina because he couldn't stand the war. And you know, he'd been through the Spanish War with America, the First World War, the Civil War here in Spain. And when World War II came on, he decided to move to Argentina. But he lived here, I think, for 20 years or something like that.
Great, let's go see it.
Okay, let's go.
It's always very exciting to see a famous musician's house. But I want to know more about the music scene here in Granada. I'm sure it's still very lively.
Granada is amazing. There's always concerts and things going on. You can even see live music in the main square, like you can see flamenco. And of course, being one of the places of flamenco, there's a lot of tablaos. And if you like, we can go to one this evening. I mean, it was a really, really interesting experience.
I would love to go.
Yeah?
I would love to go. I love
Okay.
tablao.
Well, I know a really nice small place, but it has really good traditional flamenco.
Por estas 5 ventanas que son mis 5 sentidos, entró mi ataidana y en mi alma sabe Dios. Entró mi ataidana y en mi alma sabe Dios.
Wonderful. What is it like to play the Arab nai, and what's the difference between the flute and the Arab nai?
It's wonderful to play the ney. I mean, for me, it's still very new. There's a big difference between the ney and the flute because the ney, I think, is one of the oldest instruments ever, and it's just made for the maqamat system.
Yes.
So it's very easy. Once you have a bit of an understanding of the maqamat, then you can find it on the ney easily, and the melodies just seem to come out naturally. You know,
this is Nahawan, this is Bayati, this is this, you know where to go on the ney, and in that sense it's easier than on the flute.
Wow, you know so much about Arab music, but what's most interesting to know is how were you introduced to the Arabic music?
When I first came to Spain, the first introduction I had to Arab music was to Andalusian music from Morocco. And from there, I just gradually managed to get into the scene. And when I started playing with the groups that I play with, especially with a singer called Hamid Ajbar from Morocco, that's how I started to learn about Arab music and all the maqamat. And I don't know a lot. I know the basic, level that you need to know. But I find it fascinating and I just love it so much.
What's the reaction like to Oriental music from Western audiences?
Well, I think now more and more Western audiences have come to appreciate Oriental music, and I think that that's largely due to the fact that there are so many people of Arab and Maghribi origins now in Europe, in France, in Spain, in England as well. So I think now it's becoming, more familiar to them.
Esta puede ser la tienda más antigua de Andalucía. Seguramente Empezamos en 1955 arreglando pianos y bueno, en la actualidad arreglamos todo tipo de instrumentos, sobre todo de viento, viento-madera, flautas, clarinetes, fagotes. Realmente en mi familia todos eran músicos y es un poco tradición familiar. Desde pequeño he estado siempre rodeado de instrumentos de cuerda y de viento. Tienes que tener mucha paciencia, tienes que tener bastante oído y sobre todo que te guste mucho tu oficio. Lo más importante es tener un poquito de oído y saber cuáles son los registros sonoros de todos los instrumentos que tienes, un fagot, una flauta o un clarinete. Y a partir de ahí ya puedes encontrarle las fugas y los problemas que tenga el instrumento. Bueno, es como un niño pequeño o una señorita, hay que tratarlos con mucho, mucho cariño siempre.
It was very nice meeting José Luis, but I want to know more about the story of your flute.
Yes, the story of my flute is very interesting because when I first came to Granada 25 years ago, I had a very bad quality flute and I was taking flute lessons at the conservatory, and my teacher, he said, look, somebody's selling this flute, and this flute is a Sankyo flute, a Japanese brand, one of the best brands of the time, and it's silver and handmade. So my husband, he bought it for me as a wedding present because I was just recently married.
What about your life in Granada? Is it busy? Because I thought it was a small and quiet town.
So yes, I'm very busy in Granada because since the past year or so, I've been more and more involved in different projects. My main project is my Arab group with Hamid Ajbar, and he's got two groups. One is Sufi music, one is with flamenco. And then I have other projects with just women, like the pieces that you know I've been playing for you. And apart from that, I also work at the Ancient Music Festival in Granada. We've just had the 4th edition and it's taking off really well as well. Anyway, if you like, just to finish off, we can do my last piece, which is a typical style from Granada in the flamenco styles, and it's called Tangos de Granada.
زيارتي لغرناطة فهمت ليش فوزية الأمريكية المولودة في سويسرا استقرت في قلب الأندلس، لأن الموسيقى زي المغناطيس تجذبنا إلى أماكن تدخل قلبنا وروحنا، والموسيقى هي صلة توصلنا مع الماضي وطريقنا لمستقبل كل الشعوب والثقافات تعيش مع بعضها بتفاهم وتسامح.